This video is for you if you want to read The Concept of Anxiety by Soren Kierkegaard, and this video is also for you if you're not yet convinced that reading a book as intense and complex and philosophical as The Concept of Anxiety is worth your time. Kierkegaard writes about the psychological state of anxiety, but he elevates the concept to a profoundly creative and philosophical narrative, a kind of narrative that anyone can apply to their day-to-day living. And that is a strong reason to read this book. Hi, this is Aisha and welcome to another video, but not exactly a book review of Read a Day Club. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Kierkegaard's concept of anxiety. Now, the book has all the makings of a complex and psychological read. It's short, hardly, I think, not even less than 200 pages, and at the same time it's dense, for the lack of a better word. But don't get me wrong, I mean it's dense not in its meaning but in its language, which for someone who has not yet read Kierkegaard's books or about his philosophy overall would find the book a bit too complex, difficult, and perhaps even dull. And that's okay, because I personally do not think that a reader needs to follow a specific pecking order, to get to reading such a complex book. You simply have to sit down and pick up the book and read, so that by the time you reach the end of the book, you may not have understood everything, all the information in the book completely, but you definitely will have learned something new. Now, I won't get into that discussion right now. I'll definitely talk more about why reading complex books is not as intimidating or difficult as one might think. And I'll definitely make another feature video about this. But for now, I'm quite taken by the concept of anxiety. And the first thing that I wanted to do desperately after I finished reading the book was share my reading experience of it and talk more about its timeless lessons. For Kierkegaard, anxiety is an inescapable human condition, and for someone who is not aware of it, it can lead to creative, emotional, and intellectual barriers, some of which seeps into a person's day-to-day living, causing sort of a compulsive delusion called as falsified happiness. Now, Kierkegaard's fascination with anxiety is nothing new. In The Sickness Unto Death, he talks about the loss of one's self as the loss of one's despair. And in this book, that is The Concept of Anxiety, he reiterates the loss of self as something that is philosophically tied together with the loss of anxiety. So does this mean that to feel anxiety is to live life in all its forms? Now, this is where Kierkegaard goes a little deeper. He says that humans feel anxiety when they are in complete possession of life's possibilities and the choices they make as long as they live and are subject to their own existence. So under that light, anxiety can have many forms and many descriptions, because at the end of the day, it is something that a person is subject to. And so the experience of anxiety is a subjective experience. And Kierkegaard instructs that this kind of anxiety has a universal purpose. He directly compares anxiety with the dizziness of freedom. In fact, this is a person's feeling of freedom and its infinite possibilities that gives rise to dizziness. A complicated thought, but it's as ambiguous and as it is rewarding. Now, this is my personal interpretation of Kierkegaard's concept of anxiety, and I'm sure that anyone who has ever read Kierkegaard has his or her own understanding of the concept. The first thing that I personally connected with is the idea of placing anxiety as a mental disease on one side and placing anxiety as a constant state of being that is, prevalent in anyone who is aware of existing on the other side. This means that to feel anxious is in some ways to feel something stirring within you, and that energy is what ultimately drives you to self-fulfillment and creativity. And you can apply this growing anxiety as a part of what you do every day, so you are able to find in yourself something worth having, something worth working on, and something worth transcending. Kierkegaard also explains the reasons why anxiety is essential for living a thoughtful life. Now, deeper into this book, Kierkegaard bridges the essence of anxiety and what drives it, what intensifies our experience of it. And that can be many things: fear, regret, despair, and the most interesting of all is the feeling of feeling limited. Humans are quick to search for an antidote to this kind of existential anxiety by, building and attaching themselves to inner prisons and simply throwing the lock away down the abyss, only so that they can drown the noise and sort of avoid the infinite possibilities that human life has to offer. Simply said, you'd be far less happier with having limited choices in life and far more anxious were you to, have infinite possibilities to choose from. But why should we feel anxiety when we have the freedom to choose whatever we like? Kierkegaard writes that it's because of the feelings that we fear feeling after we've made that choice. Perhaps it could also be that we truly do not know what we want, and so the choices we make never really satisfy that desire. Now, this is where I plug in Kierkegaard's Either Or. Even though I have not read this book completely, I have read a few passages that work in tandem with his concept of anxiety. Now, anxiety is not the source from which one feels anxious. Kierkegaard writes that simply is our reaction to self-consciousness that we are ill-equipped at handling, and so we do not know how to deal with it. It's easier that way to connect the dots for a reader because it gives us a clearer understanding of how and why anxiety is both destructive and vital in nature. Kierkegaard draws parallels between Adam and Eve and the forbidden fruit from the tree of knowledge. The anxiety stems from committing the sin of taking a bite from that fruit that symbolically embodies awareness, knowledge, and consciousness. Kierkegaard's school of thought is existential and at the same time therapeutic. His concept of anxiety is not intentional, it's not premeditated, nor does he romanticize suffering, sadness, frustration, anger, or any other manifestation of anxiety as something that is a qualification of creativity or success or personal growth. Kierkegaard's anxiety is freedom. He does not eradicate existential anxiety, rather, he wants the reader to learn how to orient oneself more deeply in it, and in order to live a more fulfilling and sincere life. This brings me to the end of this video. Again, this is not a book review. All this video does is take a peek at his concept of anxiety, and this video is just me pulling at one thread amongst many others. And I hope that you can approach this book more confidently after watching this video. This is Aisha from Read a Day Club, and I'll see you guys next time.